Hello, 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 you guys. It's Christine. It is time for a scrap room design team layout, you guys. I am so excited. I don't know what order this is going up in, so I don't know exactly like if this is my first layout you'll see of this or whatever, because I do get to make several layouts for scrap room this month. So what I've decided to do for this particular layout is the Freaky Fast Friday formula. And I've done these before, but basically you cut the papers to match the little recipe here, and then you put it together and see what you get. So that's going to be, this will be what I'm using as my challenge here. And the collection I decided to use, so with the scrap room, I've said this before because I've been a subscriber for quite some time. So joining the design team is frankly like a dream come true. But basically, you get 4 collections in your scrap room flavors of the month, and it's like a sampling of them. Now, I did also get the embellishment kit, and I got the paper add-on, but I'm going to try to focus on the main flavors of the month kit. I'm going to put this to the side, and the 2 papers that came extra. Whoops. Let me see what I got going on here. Well, shoot. I think it was these 2. Yeah. I've mixed them up, you guys. Now I don't remember which ones are extra. There's 2 sheets are extra. I feel like it's these 2 maybe. So I'm going to set these aside. But basically you get 3 sheets of pattern paper and 2 pieces of cardstock. And this is the Vicki Boutin's cut and paste, which I'm so excited because I kind of wanted to buy it and then I didn't. And now I'm like, oh, that's okay because I got it in my scrap room. So these are my sheets here. And these are this is a little ephemera pack. So I got all these little ephemeras here. And I'm excited because I know these are going to be very usable. There's some little titles and stuff in here like capture, times, moments, enjoy. There's different little things. The photos I have are from, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do, I kind of wanted to do this one separate. So I may do this one separate and do these together because it's basically, we went to the Houston, what was that called? Science Museum or something like that, and it's and basically there's an exhibit there called I Survived Death by Natural Causes. It was a whole thing talking about all different kinds of like plant death, and this one was at the exhibit here was like basically what animals kill people or something. It's kind of morbid, but it's kind of cool too. So anyway, I have these 4 pictures, and I thought they might go cool with some of this Vicki Boutin. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'll have to cut these. I have a 6x12, a 6x7, a 5x7. So those are kind of good size squares. A 3x6, because 6x12 is half a sheet of paper. And then I'm kind of sad because I might end up cutting into this stuff here. I may set this aside for the moment. 6x12. This could easily be that. So 6x12, and then I could do a 6x7 for the back side. And then I need a 5x7. And technically a 3x6. I can do these out of this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these 2 here. I want to kind of hang on to these tags, if I'm honest, because these could be good little embellishments, little labels and different things. So I'm going to try to hang on to that and use this cardstock as the base. So let me do a little cutting here. Let's see. Actually, if I get a phone call, I'll have to stop the camera. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to use my rotary cutter. I've decided, I got some advice about my cutters, and I think they're right. I've got that Tim Holtz cutter, and I like it, but I don't like it. The blade just irritates me sometimes. And somebody said, well, use a rotary cutter for the big cuts, and then that one for the detail. And I was like, you know what, you're right. I got this good rotary cutter here. All right, so this is a 6x12, right? So let's do 6x12. So there's our 6x12. And then I need a 6x7. So let's see. This is 6 inches now. So we'll go to 7, right? Am I crazy? Nope, that's right. So 6x7. That's cute. And then I need a 5x7. Also need a 2.5 by 4.5. We'll do that in a second. Let's see. I need a 5x7. So if I do 5, I'm going to go to about there. I'm going to try to see what I got going on here. By 7. And then I need a 3x6. I could do, and I need a 2.5 by 4.5. I mean, I could do this one as the 2.5 by 4.5. that's not going to be a very big piece of paper. Unless I should have done maybe one of these. No, that's a little too big, so we'll see what happens there. And then we need a 3x6, right? So what is this? This is 5 now. Let's see, here's 6. And I need 3. Let's see what we end up with here. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if I made the right choices on my patterns here. I do like this branding strip too. Now I can use other things. I don't have to stick with just these pieces. Okay, so let me make sure I got what I got. I've got my 6x12, my 6x7, my 5x7, my 3x6, and my 2.5x4.5. Okay. So in looking at this, let us see what we can do here. If I'm just doing the ones that are like these, I don't know why I tend to go vertical every time, but I do. And then we've got that. I may have to think on this, you guys. There's print on there. Oh, it's all different directions. Okay, we're okay. I mean, this is definitely different. I'm going to tell you what. Let me actually cut these up because I need to be able to kind of think about where I want the photos. Because I got these, and I'm actually kind of leaning toward... What is the deal here? This is too long. Oh, I did this last time, you guys. I forgot to cut the branding strip off. And then when I went to stick it in my album, I was like, oh, shoot, it's too tall. Let us actually trim that off. Okay, now I've got a 6x12. Now it's a 6x12. So if I do 6x12, because see, the nice thing about it is you can either do that, or I could do this, because then I can have my 4 photos across the bottom. I may do this. I'll put my photos there, and then this guy can come. You know, I could do banner this or something. You know, I could even split that if I wanted to. On the other hand, I kind of like this. Yeah, let me sit and think on this just a minute because, I mean, I could do this and then come top and bottom and then have this as like a little, Yeah, let me do a little thinking, you guys. So let me go off camera for just a minute. I'm leaning towards something like this. And then I'll split it actually. Although technically then I've changed my size and that always kind of like throws me off. Let me do some thinking. I got to think on this one. I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, quick check-in because I'm not going to lie. The patterns I chose and the shapes and stuff like that, it was like the diamonds as an example. I'm still having to do it this way, but like I kind of wanted this to go vertical, but now my diamonds are going a different direction, which kind of messes with my brain a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. I just can't. So I had to kind of just mess with this because again, the patterns and things like that were just throwing me off with the shapes and things, but I think I really like this actually. So, and I'm going to lay this border strip down underneath the photos to kind of separate this little guy here. I've got my 3 photos here and I've got down here, which is this at the end. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go and use my corner rounder here. So I don't want to mess myself up, but I think that's what I'm going to do here. So not on this piece, not the blue piece, but these ones I think I will. I don't know why. They just speak to me that way. I haven't used my corner rounder in quite a little while, to be honest with you. It's not something I pull out very often, but I just think it actually adds a little finished touch here. So yeah, this is kind of different. I would never have done this design without starting with this shape, these shapes. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm debating on rounding those. Let me look at that in just a second because it's kind of mirroring that. But, y'all, we have a bird that hangs out in my, I don't know where the darn thing is. And it caws and carries on. Okay, look at that. That's kind of cool, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I think that looks kind of neat. So I'm kind of thinking to leave these not curved because, but then I'm going to have this here. So maybe I should though, because all the rest are curved. Let's just see. I'll have to organize this again. Well, maybe I do. Because I have that branding strip covering up the blue, so it doesn't actually look. Okay, that's kind of neat. And I'll come in with the title and stuff. So let's see. I kind of like these black titles. Enjoy times. Let me see. What have I got in the way of titles here? Recorded times. Oh, there's times recorded and then good. Good times recorded. Now the challenge. Oh, I've got green there. Okay, good. I may have to bring in some more green. So let's see. I mean, this is one of those, none of these really kind of necessarily have to make sense. What about the lifetime recorded? The lifetimes recorded. That's kind of cute. Does that make more sense? Because it's about death. I mean, I actually kind of like that maybe. That's a bit strange, but a bit, okay, and then I have all these florals. These are more, I do have that color there. And I could kind of bring this in like this. What have I got here? Oh, the life and times. Let's see what I got. Okay, I got these flowers. This is a big old jar. I don't think I want to use that. There's a pencil. That's not really the thing. Oh, here's our. No. Glue and pencil. Okay, so I have these flowers. That's kind of neat. I don't know if I need this little cloud. Snapshots of life. On the photo. Okay. The other thing I could theoretically do is cut, you know, well, I've cut into all these butterflies really. I could fussy cut a couple of flowers if I want to. Do I need them? I don't know. Let me glue this stuff down and really think about it. I think I may end up bringing in, I don't have enamel dots with this set. Little bunny rabbit's kind of funny, but it doesn't really go. There's a cherry. There's a butterfly. Because what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to put some of these up on foam, obviously. And kind of imagining that. So I'm kind of building that stuff out there. Okay, let me glue this stuff down so I can see where I'm at. There's a flag. Not sure the flag makes any sense. Let me glue this stuff down and I will be back on in just a minute with additional thoughts. Okay, you guys, I've glued pretty much everything down, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you this last little bit here. I'll glue these little flowers down. I will end up putting foam. By the way, the lower right photo there, I did put foam under it, and I will put foam underneath the little label titles where it says the life and recorded. Those are going to get foam. And then my butterfly, the little wings are going to get foam. I will use Nuvo glue in the middle. And then the one little small yellow flower gets foam. And then in the upper right up there, that like sunflower looking thing, or what are those called? Susans, black-eyed Susans. It's kind of that shape of it, even though technically the patterns are the collection. I put foam under the top of the flower, and that's basically it. For the journaling, I'm actually going to do it on the back. I contemplated putting it under the title, but I didn't want to mess up the balance of my layout. I think it turned out really pretty, and my handwriting can get kind of scraggly. And so while I'm not afraid necessarily to put my handwriting on there, sometimes I'll just put it on the back because I don't want to mess up the design. So that's what I'll do. This is me just putting the foam on there. I will use a little Nuvo glue and glue that snapshots of life on the one photo there. That's actually my daughter and my son-in-law. I think that's a cute little picture. He's pushing my mom. It's hard for her to walk a lot. And this was, I think we were there like 5 hours. So she definitely needed something to sit in to ride around in. I was a little jealous. I could have used one too, I think. I did go ahead and add a few little enamel dots from my stash. They were on my little table here in my little junk. I call it my junk bucket, where I've just kind of tossed extras. And they were in there, and I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and add those. They weren't necessarily needed, but I think it looks cute. Adds a little shine. So, you know, everybody's got stash enamel dots, right? So I did that, and then, yeah, so I'm going to glue down that last little bit there. The only other thing I do, and I don't do it on camera because I was having trouble with my pen, is I do take a black pen and I outline the whole layout. So here on the slowdown, you'll be able to see a little black outline where I've framed in the layout. And that is the slowdown there. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I think the rounded corners really help me like mentally see the layers and stuff a lot better. So I really enjoyed this. So you guys definitely try the Freaky Fast Friday. Drop that in the Facebook group. I'll have the Facebook group down below and a link to the Scrap Room website. Again, you guys, I've been a subscriber for years. I do find value in it. I love it because I do like getting 4 little collections. So definitely check that out. And we'll see you next time. Bye.